Hello, this is Fatima from easyautomationlabs, and today this is the first class of QA, and our topic will be how QA works in IT, and I will be discussing a lot of things beside QA and how everything works in IT industry. First of all, just to remind everyone, this is a basic class as we will be starting everything from scratch. So there will be a lot of people who will be joining us, and they have a background in IT. They have studied before, and they have some ideas about it. And there will be people who have no idea, who have no background, or who just have little to no experience at all. So this class will be for those regarding everyone, and I will be teaching everything from scratch. So for those people who have knowledge about it, I will tell them to be patient and to stay with me and just focus on the class. All right. So today, as there will be people who doesn't have any idea. So if I straight jump into the classes, main classes, and the techniques, everything else, it will be much harder for them. So I will be starting from basics, and I will start today with a story. Okay, so let's talk about the story. Is about a man and a group of his friends. Suppose this is him. There was three person, and they are friends, and they wanted to make a company. They wanted to make a company of, they will be making pen, and they are hoping there will be a big huge company, the product that they're gonna make. All right, so first of all, what they're gonna need is some place to establish their company, some place to start their journey, their dream. So they don't have nothing, but then they put in some capital, and they either have some places of their own, or they bought some place to make it their company. So suppose this is their factory. All right, this is their factory. And they will be doing everything in here. All right, so this is the main owner. Okay, they are the main owner. They are, let's say, okay, so here's the important thing. We don't call them owner. Okay, we call them business client, business people. Okay, all right, so they want to make a factory, a company of pen. They want to make a pen so that people can write with it, but they do not have any idea, or they do not know how they can proceed, and they don't know what to do. So they will hire a new person, so that he can give them some ideas and he can carry on. And there will be a lot of people who will be hired in the process. So let's start it from here. The person next they're gonna hire, these people, the business people are gonna hire is sorry him. This is product owner. Okay, his name is product owner. Okay, so this person is product owner. What he's gonna do? So this is their first company, and they decided to make they have decided the pen one, I mean, they will, and he is the head of the whole team that will be hired later, but he is the head of this project, but they are the business people. Okay, they hired him to make a pen, and to make a pen he will be hiring a lot of people later, first of all. So then he asked the business people, how am I going to make a pen? Give me some ideas so that I can write with it, or give me some documentation so I can carry on with it, because I do know how to make a pen, but I will be needing your ideas. I mean, I will be needing your confirmation and your ideas, how I'm going to be making it, your design or your ideas, or how I'm going to be putting my efforts or my own creativity into that pen. So the next step will be the business, and or the business people will give him a document. They will give the product owner a document, and the document's name will be CRS, which stands for Client Requirement Specifications. Okay, all right, so now we have business people, we have product owner. Business people gave a document named CRS, Client Requirement Specifications, to the product owner. All right, so now product owner is going to, okay, now you might ask me, what is the CRS? I mean, what is this, what's this thing? Can you the CRS will be mainly a document of how the product is going to be. So let me show you what is the CRS. Okay, so suppose, sorry, so this is the CRS. Hi, I want to make a pen so that people can write with it. The pen will have a transparent white cap, a non-refillable body with company label, and it will have thin ballpoint. Okay, so that handwriting becomes smooth and clear. It will come with multiple attractive color design. All right, there are a lot of things to focus here, so I want everyone to, not get absent-minded. Listen carefully once again. I want to make a pen so that people can write with it. The pen will have a transparent white cap, a non-refillable body with company label, and it will have thin ballpoint so that handwriting becomes smooth and clear. It will come with multiple attractive color design. All right. So this is our CRS, and now what will the product owner do? This document has the business people have handed out to the product owner so that he can carry on with it. So now the product owner now will mark from the document. He will mark the important points from here, and he will break it down, and he will make some points. Okay, all right, so suppose he is reading the documents and he is now confused about some things. And he got some questions. So what are they going to do? The product owner, this is the product owner, this is the business people. They will have a meeting about the document because he had some confusion about it, and he is asking the business people to clear it out. Okay, so these meetings that they had, this is called walk through meeting. Okay, this is walkthrough meeting. Why it is called walkthrough meeting? Because they don't have any written statement, or they do not have to put down any note like we had this day we had a meeting about it. This is just that he had some confusion, and he asked the business people to have a meeting with him, and they had a meeting about it. Okay, he can have one to multiple walkthrough meetings. It depends on the product owner. Okay, there's another thing to be noted, which will be product owner handles everything about a specific product in the company. Okay, now product owner is hired for the specific pen, and his job is to handle this product. Okay. Alright, so now we will be moving to the next part, which is, I told you that he will analyze the document and he will point out the important part, and this is it. Let me show you here. Okay, let me shorten it out. Okay, I'm keeping them side to side. Okay, so now let's read again. Hi, I want to make a pen so that people can write with it. The pen will have a transparent white cap, a non-refillable body with company label, and it will have thin ballpoint so that handwriting becomes smooth and clear. It will come with multiple attractive color design. Okay, here he have pointed with blue mark the important point, and now you might ask me why he did the note those with green, those important part, because he's going to make some small points using the documents, and those are called user story. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the user story part. Okay. Alright, so he will now, I'm going to show you the user story one by one. Okay, this is the first user story, and first let me just put them out here, and then I will discuss about in details. Okay, let's shorten it out. Alright, so this product has 4 user story, and let me tell you one thing. All of these, the 4 user story will make one product backlog. One product backlog. Okay, so let's read the first one. First one is, as a user, I want to use a pen with a transparent cap so that I can see the color of the pen while easily. Okay, as a second user story is, as a user, I want to use a non-refillable pen with a company label on the body so that I can identify the company brand. As a user, I want to use the thin ballpoint pen so that my handwriting becomes more precious and smooth. Number 4 is, as a user, I want to buy a pen which will have multiple body color so that I can buy my favorite color pen. Alright, let's discuss the first one. Let me remind you again. Okay, so the product owner analyzed this one, and then he made these user stories, and these user stories are called product backlog. okay? But let me remind you, this is not complete, okay? This is not complete. This needs some furnishing to done, and now this is in 50%. The product backlog is in 50% situation. It means it needs more managing, more, okay, I will discuss it later why it is 50%. All right, so now let's stick with the user stories. As a user, I want to use a pen with a transparent cap so that I can see the color of the pen easily. Okay, why it says as a user? What did he mean by user? Okay, so you make a pen, you have a company of your own, and you make a pen, and then you lend them in the market, in the shops, and people will buy the pen. So who are these people? Those people are the user. Okay, those people are the user, mainly customer. Okay, and the product owner will think as a customer and how people want a pen to give it the best while writing something. So that's why he's mentioned this user, and then he wrote it. I want to use a pen with a transparent cap. Why transparent cap? Why he chose to make this as a transparent cap? Why? Because the color of the body of the pen should be visible, otherwise people won't notice. Suppose you have bookmarked your book with only your pen. From outside you can see the color of the pen, and it does have other notable benefits of a transparent cap. So that's why he decided to put it here in the user story, so that I can see the color of the pen easily. Okay, so that he can, as I said, he can see the color of the pen, of the body easily. Second user story says, as a user, I want to use a non-refillable pen with a company label on the body so that I can identify the company brand. Alright, I want to use a non-refillable pen. Alright, why non-refillable pen? Suppose you have a refillable pen. You write a huge story with your refillable pen, but the ink finished, and you go to a shop and you tell him to give you some ink to put it into your pen. I know this doesn't make sense, but think that if you have a refillable pen, you just have to buy pen. You just have to buy the ink for the pen, but you won't buy the pen next time if it crashes totally, if it gets destroyed completely. You will not buy a new pen. So that is why I want to use a non-refillable pen. Whenever the inks is finished, you will buy a new pen. This is how it works. Company label on the body. Why company label on the body? So that you can see which company you're using to write. Alright, so that I can identify the company brand. As a user, I want to use thin ballpoint pen. Okay, thin ballpoint, thin, it could be different, as we are focusing on just one model of a pen. Suppose we are focusing on Matador Pinpoint. Matador Pinpoint has thin ballpoint. He's going to make Matador Pinpoint, that's why it is thin ballpoint. Alright, so just to tell you, the product backlog will be, it depends on the product how it will be. We are discussing about a specific product, so that's why it is here. It's thin ballpoint, so that my handwriting becomes more precious and smooth. Okay, it means we all know that writing with thin ballpoint makes our handwriting more faster and more smooth and more perfect than those with hard and rough ballpoint. Alright, now let's move on to the fourth, which is, as a user, I want to buy a pen which will have multiple body color so that I can buy my favorite color. Alright, you are a boy, you really are not gonna buy a pen pink colored pen, you won't buy it. You will obviously go buy a white or a black or blue or any color that goes with you, that suits you. But girls are gonna buy pen that are in pinkish, in reddish, purple. That is why uh, for the customers, people will be attracted by the colors, and that is why this user story says that it will have multiple body color. All right, so now these 4 user stories are called product backlog. All right, and now product owner has made the product backlog, and now what is he going to do? What is he going to do is he will again meet with the business people, and he will hand out the product backlog, and they will they will sign it. They will sign on the product backlog. All right, now as they have signed the product backlog and everything is settled here, they decided to make a release of the product. They decided to make a release of the product in every 4 months. Why every 4 months? Because this is called quarter release. All right, either it will have 3-quarter release in a year, or 4 quarter release. If it's 4, then it will be 3 times, and if it's 3, then it will be 4 times. All right, so the first release will be called first build. Suppose they make a pen. This is their first release, or first build, or version 1. All right, so now as the product owner made this backlog using these user stories, and these user stories are 50% complete, now his work here is done. Okay, product backlog took this document from business people. He made a product backlog, and now what he is going to do? Now the product owner will talk to the HR manager, and he will hire 2 new people. He will hire 2 new person. One will be business analyst, and another person will be project manager. Okay, so we will first talk about what are their jobs, what are their responsibilities. All right, okay, so now let's start with business analyst, BA, in short BA, what he's going to do. All right, so the product backlog that he got from the product owner, he will take each user story and he will make it in a scenario. Okay, let's once again bring our first user story in here. Okay, as a user, I want to use a pen with a transparent cap so that I can see the color of the pen easily. Alright, so he will now break it down, each part of this user story. He will do research, he will talk to other people, he will do a lot of research, and he will ask other people about others' opinions, and then he will use his knowledge, his creativity into making scenarios based on the user stories of the product backlog. So first one, what he's going to do, for the first user story, he will make a I'm telling you what he's going to make. He's going to make here. All right. So, what is this? He made another thing using the first user story, and now what is this called? This is called BRS, which stands for Business Requirement Specifications. Alright, so this is BRS for each. Now, as I told you earlier that this product, this user story, each user stories are 50% complete. Now, as the business analyst was hired and his job is to analyze these things, all the user stories. Now, this user story is 100% complete. 100% complete. All right. Okay, so let's move on to our first BRS because this is important. Okay. So as a user, I want to use a pen with a transparent cap so that I can see the color of the pen easily. So this is the first scenario of the first user story. Scenario 1 is user can see the ink color through the transparent cap. I am going to show you a picture so that it becomes much visible for you. Let's shorten it out. Alright, user can see the ink color through the transparent cap. Can you see the cap of the colors? As I mentioned before, all the pen will have different body and their colors will the bodies are same but the colors are different, and the cap is completely transparent, and you can see through here. That we can see that the color is visible, the body color is visible from here, right? Now let's move on to our scenario 1. Given the pen has a transparent cap, then the pen has color in the body, when the user places the cap on the pen body, then the user should be able to see the color of the pen through the cap. When you put something is blocking your pen to make it visible completely. It's in under your bag, under your book, but it's only visible from its front, from its head. Only you can see its cap, so you can identify the color only by its cap. All right, you can only see its cap, but you know that what color the pen has on its body. All right. Now there's another thing to focus is given, then, when, then. What are these? Given, then, when, then. So you might have noticed that using this scenario, they have written this step by step, following the step. Sometimes the business analyst will put a picture of the pen so that the developers can make it easily. Sorry, it's really nasty, but suppose he put here a picture of the pen so that developers can make it easily, so that others who will be hired later it will be easier for them. And now the steps have followed a format, while the business analyst has followed a format while writing this BRS, business requirement specification, and this is called gherkin. Okay, so now I'm writing it out. in red, gherkin. Okay, gherkin is the format that have been used while writing the scenario. All right, and now the acceptance criteria. Acceptance criteria. What is acceptance criteria? Acceptance criteria is that thing this BRS only will be accepted when the scenario fulfills the condition in here. The cap should be strong enough so that it doesn't break easily. If you try to break it with a brick, if you try to smash it with something heavier such as a hammer, it will break easily. Otherwise it won't break easily. No matter what you do bite your people bite their pens. I know people do that, but it doesn't break. It really doesn't break. That's how much strong the cap are. So the cap should be strong enough so that it doesn't break easily. This is the first acceptance criteria. The second one is the cap hole size should be perfect to fit the pen body. Suppose the pen has size 1 and the cap has size 2. It's not gonna fit, is it? It's not. So the cap size will be perfect for fit into the body. All right, this is the acceptance criteria. If the scenario doesn't meet the condition here it's written, then this BRS won't be accepted. All right, so business analyst analyzed the first user story and then he made the first BRS. All right, now he's going to work with the second one. Okay, so this is the second one. Let me show you the second scenario, second BRS, which is this. Alright, I'm zooming out. Second user story says, as a user, I want to use a non-refillable pen with a company label on the body so that I can identify the company brand. And then scenario 1, and now you may notice that here it has two scenarios. It has two scenarios because it depends on the product, it depends on the user story, it depends on the important part of the product it's going to have. A BRS may contain 2 to 3 scenarios, it doesn't matter, as the first one only contained one scenario, but the second one contained 2 scenarios. So we will be moving on to the next. First scenario is user will not get any option to refill the pen. As I mentioned earlier, you have a refillable pen and your ink goes out and you go to the shop to fill it out with ink. Then you do not have to throw out the pen, you do not have to buy another pen. That's why this is the scenario number 1. User will not get any option to refill the pen. Okay, the pen will not have any system that will make it worthy to take any ink by itself by the user. So now let's read the format. Given ink of the pen is finished, then user will check for refill option. When user will not find any refill option, then user will dispose the pen and user will buy a new pen. I hope you remember what this format that is being used to write this scenario is called gherkin, right? Let me write it out again. This is gherkin. Alright. Acceptance criteria is pen should run smoothly until the given ink runs out. Pen will be broken if anyone try to change the ink. Alright, let's discuss this here. Let's discuss the first scenario. Your ink of your pen is finished. Now you try to check, oh my god, I do have some ink, so that maybe I can fill it up with my ink. And let's try to check if my pen is able to hold on to the ink that I'm gonna put into it. And then I saw that no, there's no option to refill it with any new ink. Alright, now I just have to do what? I will have to dispose the pen into the garbage, into the trash. But now I have to write my rest of the story. How am I going to write it? I don't have any more pen left. How am I going to do it? I'm going to go to the shop. I'm going to go to the buy the new another pen, and I'm going to buy the exact company's pen, because the one that I used before, because I liked how it gave me a smooth writing. I liked how it gave me a beautiful, nice coloring. I felt comfortable while writing with the pen. That's why I'm going to buy the same company, same brand's pen. I'm not going to buy any other company's pen. So that's the first scenario. And if this scenario meets this acceptance criteria, then this part will be accepted. Oh, another thing should be, if anyone tries to change the ink, the pen will break. Alright, let's move on to the scenario part 2. Company labels should be durable and long lasting. Company labels should be durable and long lasting. You are writing 10 hours a day. You are writing 5 hours a day. But whenever you look at your pen, whenever you are taking a break and looking at your pen, you see that the company name and the model of the pen is not vanished. It stays on the pen no matter how long you hold your pen with your sweaty hands. It won't go off. Okay, now let's read the format. Given user look at the pen body, user should be able to see the label clearly. Then user uses the pen until the ink runs out, and the label should be perfect and not fade or peel off. I mean, you will use your pen, your ink will run out, and you still will be able to hold your pen, and you still will be able to see that the company label and the model name is still there. It still didn't fade, not even peeled off. Okay, this is the scenario. That's much strong. The label should be on the body of the pen. Acceptance criteria: the label should be clearly visible, the spelling should be accurate, the user should not feel uncomfortable while touching the label part of the pen, the label should last long and doesn't peel off. Alright, so this is our acceptance criteria of scenario 2, and this is our BRS, another BRS. BRS. Okay, now we have covered user story 1 and user story 2. Now what are we going to do is, all of the user stories will be the same. I mean, if I have to describe it to you, all of these are same. The team that will be hired later, they will work on this for days. They will have much problems, they will have meetings, and sometimes in this BRS, this is called business requirement specification, sometimes a picture will be attached here of the product that they will be making. And now I'm going to move on to I'm just going to put on our third and fourth BRS here, because I'm gonna be moving on to our next. Alright, so this is the third user story, and the third BRS is here. I hope you can see it. Yes. And as I mentioned earlier, a BRS can hold 2 or 3 scenarios as well. Alright, now our fourth user story and fourth BRS. And now you can see in this number fourth BRS, it only has one scenario and one acceptance criteria and one scenario, and everything everything will be given to the students so that they can learn later after the class. The slides and the audio will be given to them as soon as the class finishes, and they have to go through everything so that they don't get confused while taking or memorizing their notes. Now, this is who made this and who created all this. We all know that business analyst took the product backlog and he created this BRS, and from each user story he created these BRS for each user story, and now he has done his job. And as I mentioned earlier, there is another person who have been hired along with business analyst, and that person is project manager. We did not talked about him, but as we were discussing about what the business analyst do and what was his job, but now we're going to move on to this project manager, and we will discuss what his responsibilities are. All right, so let's talk about now project manager. Okay, this is project manager. So let's draw the project manager. Okay, this is PM as project manager. All right. Okay, so now first job of project manager will be he's gonna hire teams. He will hire 3 type of teams for this company, and I'm gonna discuss who he's gonna hire. First team will be developers. Second team, testers. And third team will be architects. Alright, now here this team has two sub teams. One is testers for manual testers, and second is for automation. All right, and another thing, the department head of the tester team is called test lead. And first of all, we will discuss about our developers. We will discuss the developers. This is the team of the developers. And what does the developers do? They mainly analyze the BRS that BA has created, and they will do everything to they will basically there is another thing such as BRS, which is called technical requirement specifications. They mainly analyze that part, and they make the product based on the technical requirement specification. Okay, so as we are talking about the testing team, here we have manual testers, and for 2 teams for manual testers and 1 for automation testers. Let me tell you one thing, each of the team has one test lead. Suppose one test lead for manual tester, and another test lead for automation test lead. And another thing is the whole the main boss of this whole testing team is called QA manager. Okay, QA manager. And now I'm going to be discussing each team's responsibilities one by one. Now we will talk about our dev team. Suppose this developers team has 3 developers. As I mentioned earlier, the boss of the developers team is called technical lead. Technical lead. And suppose this team has 3 developers. I'm just pointing them 1, 2, and 3. Dev 3. Alright, so this team has 3 developers, and for testers we have here another team. Suppose, alright, this is for testers. Now I'm going to divide it into half for automation and manual. Alright, or suppose this team has 2 to 3 automation testers, and this team has also 2 to 3 manual testers. Okay, let me tell you the differences between automation testers and manual testers. They work, the responsibilities are same. It's just the difference here is for the automation testers, they're going to be working using our valuable softwares, and they'll have to be, have to have that software knowledge about programming languages, and regarding the product, everything they had to learn. They will use the programming language to write the scripts and everything. And then the manual tester here will be doing everything manually that has been written for them, that has been in their job. They have to do it manually. Okay, but their tasks are same, just the ways are not same of doing. Okay, this is the tester team, and we will now first talk about our architect team here. As I told you earlier, there will be a TRS, technical requirement specification. We don't need to see that TRS. Alright, who will be working using the TRS? Who's gonna work using the TRS? Following the TRS, we have our another team, which is architecture team. I hope you remember our team. Suppose this is our team, and yeah, architectures also, they will also have 2 to 3 architectures. Okay, and what is their job? Their main job is to design the product. Okay, the product that the company have hired them to make, they will design the product. How they were going to design? They will design everything about how the body will be made, using which chemicals, using which elements, and at which temperature the developers has to boil things, everything that will be used for making the pen. So they will design this product, and they will make a design document. This is the document. Suppose everything is written here. This is called design document. Okay, this is called design document. And now as the architect team have made a design document for the pen, using, after analyzing the BRS and the TRS as well. No, the an important thing here, the architect team will focus more on the TRS than the BRS, the one that business analyst made. And now the architect team will hand over the design document to the dev team. Okay, to the dev team. And now developers team, what are they going to do? The developers team has the design document. Now they are going to discuss with the arc team, with the business analyst, with the business people. Okay, with the business people, and they will discuss everything about the design document, because they are going to be the one who will make the product, who will be responsible for creating the product. They will bring the chemicals, they know at which temperature the product will be, the body will be, and the cap will be. They know everything. So they will be discussing, they will be having a lot of meetings with the other persons as well. Okay, so that's how it works. So this is the job of the developers team, and this is what the architect team does. And I also mentioned what does the testers also do. Alright, now we know that the developers has created the product. I mean, suppose for one part of the product, suppose he created the cap of the pen. So from here he created the cap. He created the cap of the pen. Suppose this is the cap. Okay, and they were able to create cap, and they will create the rest of the product, part of the product, suppose as the body and the ink inside the pen. But first they created the cap of this product. Alright, and now we will go back to the user story, not the user story, the BRS that the business analyst created, and we should take a look where it says about the cap. Alright, this is for the pen color, and let me search for it. Yeah, let me copy it and okay. Alright, so here is the cap, and let me just copy paste it down here. Okay, This is the BRS, and let's read it again. I want to use a pen with a transparent cap so that I can see the color of the pen while easily. I can see the color of the pen easily. So we can get a hint from this BRS that it says it have to have must have to have a transparent cap. I mean, the cap that the developers made has to be transparent. Okay, transparent. All right, now developers has created the cap, and after that what are they going to do? They will hand out the product to the testers. Now here comes the testers main job. We will discuss what they do. They are the testers. Okay, suppose the testers team got the cap, and first we will talk about the manual testers. All right, what their job will be regarding the cap. Okay, so we will discuss it first. Manual testers. Okay, so first of all, they will take the BRS, and now they will test the product, I mean test the cap using this acceptance criteria. Their main focus will be on acceptance criteria, whether the cap follows the acceptance criteria or not. Okay, so their main job is to follow the acceptance criteria. If everything was followed while creating the cap, if their main focus will be on this part, they will watch and they will see and they will test if the product was created by following the acceptance criteria. Okay, so first it says here the main part is transparent cap, so we will write the transparency. Okay, and now you're gonna ask me, as I mentioned earlier, the testers write a lot of test scripts, whether it is for the manual testers or for the the automation testers. The job is same, but the way they work is just different. Testers, this is called test case. Okay, transparency, and now he will write some points. First point will be, what does it say in the acceptance criteria? The cap should be strong enough. Sorry, the cap, I want to use a pen with a transparent cap. I mean, it has to be transparent. All right, so the manual testers will do, and first of all they will put down the cap on the top of the pen. On top of the pen. Second, the user will hold it. As you can see that everything here is happening manually. And third part is the most important one, which is pen color. Not pen, I mean the body of the pen color will be visible. Okay, and now inside the test case, the first test case was our transparency, and the things that I just wrote down, these are called test steps. Okay, 1 2 3 test steps inside one test case. Okay, we are done with our first test case, and you can have either 5 to 10 or more than 10 test cases. It depends on the product. Okay, for the first BRS, it just say it has to be a transparent cap, because the alright, we can see another thing here. The acceptance criteria here, the cap should be strong enough so that it doesn't break easily. Alright, the cap hole size should be perfect to fit the pen body. And now we will talk about its the strength of the cap, another test case. Okay, sorry. Strength. This is another TC test case. I'm going to write down. First one will be we will again look at the acceptance criteria. The cap should be strong enough so that it doesn't break easily. Let's write it down. User will its strength. Oh no. Check its strength, and another test steps is it. So this is the test steps for this strength part. We will move on to another test case, which will be about the size. Okay, this is another TC. The more you can get test cases, test steps from a product, the better for you it is. Okay, this is the job of all the testers, and I'm doing the job for now for manual testers. Okay, test size. Okay, let's see. Test size, what does it say in the acceptance criteria? The cap hole size should be perfect to fit the pen body. Alright. Hold the pen and cap will check the hole size of the cap. Just cap. User will check if the cap fits on pen body. Alright, this is our manual part is done. And now we will talk about our automation part. Automation testers. Let's compare again with transparency. This is the TC. And what are the transparency for the automation part will be. Okay, so the manual part, everything in manual testers, for the manual testers, they were doing everything manually, and for the automation testers, pen will go inside the machine, alright, which will identify, which will confirm the transparency of the cap. Alright, let's write it down here. The machine, and transparency will be visible. Okay, and we will now talk about our size. Alright, for the size, again the machine will, I'm not writing it here, pen will go inside the machine, and second will be measurement will be, PC. And now you may ask me how the measurement will be displayed, because the manual testers will do the programming part, they will do some research, they will have to work inside the software so that they can get something to measure the size of the pen, so then it will be displayed on our programs on our PC. Alright, this was for our size test cases. We wrote down our test steps as well, and now I hope you understand what does the manual testers do and what does the automation testers do. Okay. If you say about the another BRS, let's say this part, the third BRS, which says I want to use thin ball pen so that my handwriting becomes more precious and smooth. We already got our main part, and the acceptance criteria here is pen should not skip while writing, the user should feel smoothness while writing. Alright, First is the pen will not skip, and the second is it will feel smooth while the user is writing something using the pen. The second acceptance criteria is the line must be thin. When the pen will have the point pen, then only it can be, it will meet this acceptance criteria. The line must be thin and the line must be clear. Alright, so just like the first one, all the BRSs will be like this part, like the third one. Just like the first one, everything will be discussed, the third one will be also discussed like the first one. So I'm not going to discuss all of the BRSs, as I just gave an example on how the testers will work upon the BRS and everything else, and what their main job is. And now, as we are clear on this part, now what is going to happen? We just talked about the cap. I'm going to show you the cap picture here. The cap is successful. Alright, the cap is now successful. The cap's BRS was in the first BRS. Suppose we have discussed the body. Alright, the fourth number says pen will have a multiple body color, so that I can buy my favorite colored pen, multiple body colored. Alright, the testers will go again. We'll test everything regarding the TRS, technical skills, and they will see if this also meets the requirements. I have to shorten it out a little bit less. Yeah, or whatever. And now for the third one. The third one says for the pin. Okay, I want to use thin ballpoint so that my handwriting becomes more precious. Alright, okay, so let's see our pen nib. This is the pen which is completed. Now suppose while testing the product, while testing either the cap, either the body, or either the point, the tester found some defects on the product. Alright, suppose the cap is broken. Alright, so if the tester found the cap while testing that is broken, the testers will immediately talk to the developers, dev team, as I told you earlier. Alright, okay, we will discuss it here. Defect testers will talk to dev team, and then after what happens, the developers will make the product once again, and testers will do their job once again. Everything will be back, and they will have to do the testing part for both automation testers, manual testers. They'll have to go through everything, all the same process once again. Okay, and then there's another thing, the testers follow while testing the product. Okay, which is, alright, so now as the defect has been solved, the problem has been solved, the process was once again made. Now what we're gonna do? Alright, now the product here was the product. For first the cap, then the body, and then the point of the pen was created one by one, and now it has 3 parts or 4 parts or 5 parts, because it depends on the product whatsoever. Now I'm going to dig deeper onto it. Alright, suppose this is a water filter. Why am I telling you this is a water filter? Because in a water filter, there's a lot of layers in it. In order to make the water the clearest, in its clearest form, in its purest form, the filter has many layers. Alright, I'm going to put down the layers here. Okay, so the first layer is called dev environment. Okay, first one is called dev environment. Alright, so what happens in dev environment? So in dev environment, what did we do? We first created the cap, and then we created the body, and then we created the point of the pen. Okay, so each part of the pen was separated while we created, on all the testing part was done in this dev environment. And the second part is what is the second layer called? The second layer is called SIT environment. Let's write it down. SIT environment. What happens in this SIT environment? SIT stands for System Integrated Testing. System integrated testing, sorry. So in system integrated testing, what's gonna happen? So I'm going to go down for this. Alright, so let's discuss it here. Suppose we have our 3 parts: the cap, the body, and the point. Okay, we will integrate all the 3 parts. Okay, the cap and the body and the point of the pen. In system environment testing, in this SIT environment, the parts of the product will be integrated. I mean, we will match it and we will fix all the things, all the parts of the product, and we will then test if everything's all right, if everything has been made as it was in all of the documentation was created by BA or PO or anyone else. And if all the testers have done their work, done their job well, then if they see that this product is perfect, this product goes well with the acceptance criteria, this product meets the requirements on, and everything is really good according to the developers, architects and testers, then this product is ready. This product is ready product. Alright, now we have our ready product, and if suppose the cap isn't, holding, the cap hole doesn't match the size of the body, or it still has some defect, even after testing so many times it still has some defects, and the point is not matching the requirements of the acceptance criteria, or the body has some problems, or the label has some problems, then there will be made again, once again, testing part again. Suppose the ink of the pen is correct, so we don't have to test that part, we just have to correct the what is defect here, and we will fix it again. Okay, so in this SIT environment, it is done. Now we will move on to our third stage, which is called UAT, user acceptance testing. What is user acceptance testing? User acceptance testing, what do you mean by user? By user, we don't mean the, we have two keywords here, which one is end user and another thing is user. At the very first when I started, the lecture, at the very first, I first here told you that the owner of the whole company is called business people, and also they are called user. Why? Because they are the user, because they hired they hired the product owner, and they are the user. They will be called user. But the end user, customers, like random people. Okay, so UAT here, suppose I ordered a craftsmanship to make me a nice bed for myself. So he created one for me, and he called me to check, hey, can you please check this out? Can you please check if it meets with your requirement, the design that you gave me and everything else? And UAT the product will be given to UAT, to the business people. Let me write it down so it becomes more clear. It will be given to the business people. The final product, the ready product, will be given to the business people to check whether they are satisfied with the product that they have created. Alright, and now for much clearer vision, for much satisfaction, you know what's gonna happen? For much satisfaction, for much testing to check whether the product is perfect or not, the user acceptance, the business people will hire UAT testers. These testers will do the testing job. They will test the product like before. Okay, this team is hired by the UAT. These UAT testers are hired by UAT just to check whether these two steps are perfect or not. Okay. If they found, even after doing double check here, if they found some defect in this part, they will who's gonna, who will be held responsible after this? Suppose the UAT testers found some mistakes, then they will tell the UAT, the business people, and then business people will go straight to the testers. Because after the dev team has created the product, it was the tester's job to make sure the product has met its requirements as written in the BRS and the technical requirement specifications as well. Alright, so now the UAT testers have cleared out everything, and UAT testers tested the product, everything is done, and now we will move on to our fourth stage. Okay, so in this fourth stage we will see our pre-production. After everything's done, this is our fourth stage, which is called pre-production. In this part, we will the marketing team will be hired, and they will do the marketing advertisement of everything else, and pricing will be made here, also the packaging. And after this stage is done, the last part is production stage. Production. And here a maintenance team will be hired, okay, to maintain all the supplying and all the landing, everything else. In this part, it holds here the production part here. All right, so let's go on once again our filter system. First stage is dev environment. In this dev environment holds everything that we did, from making the product's parts and the testing as well. The second stage is SIT environment. SIT environment meaning is system integrated testing, which means the product's parts will be tested thoroughly to check if it's alright, if it meets the requirements and all. And the third stage is UAT, which is user acceptance testing. By user, I meant the business people. In IT, we say user, we call them user, we call them client. So UAT testers, they will hire a the business people will hire a UAT testers team to double, triple check the product. And after everything is done, after everything has been tested thoroughly, our fourth stage is pre-production stage, and here the marketing team will be hired, and the product's pricing will be decided, and their packaging will be done here. And for the last stage, which is our production stage, in this part a maintenance team will be hired to maintain the shipment, everything, the maintaining part, and they'll have to ship the product to one state to another. And yeah, the landing process mainly happens in the last stage. Alright, so I think we are done from first to last, so I will just recap from start, from where I have started. So first of all, business people will hire his product owner. His job, business people will hand out to him a CRS. Then product owner will take notes from the CRS. He will make some user story, which is called product backlog, which is not 100% complete. He will have some problems while making these, and he will go through some walkthrough meetings as well. And after making the product backlog, he will hire two people, business analyst and project manager. Okay, so the business analyst, what he's gonna do, he's gonna take each user story and he will make BRS using each user story. Alright, after making the BRS, I mean business requirement specification, after making it, you can see this is 100% complete now. So the business analyst will create each BRS for each user story. The BRS will hold scenarios and acceptance criteria as well. After business analyst is done with his job, product manager comes. He will hire three teams: developers, testers, and architects. Developers, architects design the product. They make a design documentation. He hand it out to the developers. Developers make the product. After that, developers give out the product to the tester team. Testers have two teams, sub-teams, which is manual testers and automation testers. Each team has a test lead for both teams, and the whole testing team has a manager who is called QA manager. And testers will do, or manual testers will do its job, and then automation testers will do its job. How manually and automation, how it works, I've also described it. And after that, if they found any defect, they will talk to the dev again and they will fix it again. And then this is the whole process after creating the product parts. I just discussed the filtering system, how it works, and now that's how it works. Everything, everyone's position, everyone's responsibilities, how they work, how they will have to fill out the they have been given, and who is gonna test what, who will make what product, who will have to check twice or thrice, who will be hired at what stage. Everything is discussed here, and I hope this is understandable easily. So yeah, see you in next class.